Hello, welcome to Yoga Rich and Rach. Thank you very much for joining me and Happy New Year. So we're now in 2020 and we're coming back into our practice as we've had a couple of weeks off the YouTube channel. So thank you very much. I know quite a few of you have been enjoying the prop practice that I put up just before Christmas. But welcome back. We are going into the Vayus this year. So Vayu is movement, and we're going to start with Apana Vayu because Apana is all about grounding and rooting down. And we have 5 planets in Capricorn. I think there are 2 planets in Taurus, so we've got a lot of earthy energy. So we want to focus on rooting down, getting grounded and taking our time. So we're actually going to start in child's pose, and I have got a block, so you might want to use a block or you might want to use a blanket so you're supporting your forehead as you come into child's pose. So you can either do that on a block, you can do that with the hands, or if it's comfortable, placing your forehead down onto the mat. So take your time. While you wait into child's pose, you might have the knees together, hip width apart. You might take the knees about the width of your mat, toes are touching. Don't think too much about drawing the tailbone towards the heels as much as you are with focusing on getting your forehead rooted onto the mat or onto a surface. So you might have your forehead resting on the mat. Maybe you're using the arms, you might have a pillow, a blanket, a block or a cushion. So the arms might be out in front of you. You might even have the hands down by the feet. So take your time, find what feels comfortable, closing the eyes, and bring your awareness to your breath. Just awareness of each inhale and each exhale. And know that wherever you've landed, if it doesn't feel comfortable, you can change how you are on the mat. So you might not use the block, you might use your hands. Perfectly fine to allow yourself to fidget, especially if you're just coming back into a practice after a little break over Christmas or the New Year. And be aware of allowing yourself to release and drop down onto the mat. So it's that downward movement. Think about rooting down into the mat, into the earth. And taking your time, as though you're unfurling and coming back out of a deep sleep, just finding your way up to sitting. So again, if you have a block or a pillow or a cushion, you might use that and place that underneath the tailbone. Just find what feels comfortable or as comfortable as you can for a seat. So you might have the legs crossed, you might have the legs stretched out in front of you, keeping the eyes soft, keeping that awareness inwards. But now that you're seated, think about how you're rooting down through the tailbone. So it's the tailbone gently pushing down onto the block, on the mat, on a cushion, onto a blanket, as much as you're then sitting up nice and tall, finding that tall spine. So allowing some movement out and up, but really focusing on that downward movement, but not too much that you start to slump into the belly. So last year our practices, we started with a mudra and a mantra. So we're actually going to stay with the mudra practice, and if you practice the Taurus practice, you've already practiced this particular mudra, which is the Apana mudra. So it's that downward rooting hand gesture. All you're doing is bringing the thumb, the middle finger and the ring fingers together to touch. You're keeping the index fingers and the little fingers upwards, but we're going to place the hands down onto the knees or onto the thighs or onto the laps. So you're inviting in that grounded stabilization. As I said, we've got 5 planets at the moment of me recording this. This is going to go out Thursday, so it's actually a full moon. But at the time of me recording this, there's 5 planets in Capricorn. At the moment, we also have 2 planets in Taurus. By the time we come into the full moon, the moon would have moved out of Taurus into Cancer. So we really want to focus on this grounding energy as we move into January. So if you've been setting intentions, know that this is the time when you're really planting a seed and you want to keep it nourished, well watered, well fed and looked after. But we might not see those results until the seed starts to sprout, say come springtime. So it's all about being slow, being steady, and just enjoying being here, right here in the moment. So as you bring the thumb, the middle finger, the ring fingers together to touch into that Apana Mudra, make sure the index fingers and the ring fingers aren't relaxed. So you're keeping them quite active in this particular position. And we're going to bring our awareness back to the breath and have a go with an anchoring breath. So we're really staying here, rooting in that moment. So start by bringing your awareness back to your breath. Just aware of your inhale, your exhale. We're going to practice a counting and lengthening breath. So bring your awareness to your inhale and just start to count the length of your inhale until you start to exhale. There's no forcing, no controlling. So as you inhale, you might be counting to 1 and then exhaling. Maybe you're counting 1, 2 and then exhaling. Perhaps inhaling 1, 2, 3 and exhaling. You might be inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4 and then exhaling. So taking your time, take a few rounds, just finding where you naturally get to 1 or 2, 3 or all the way up to 4. And just allowing the exhale to release. And you might stay here just focusing on the inhale. Or you might then start to see if you can lengthen your exhale to the double of your inhale. So if you're inhaling to 1, you're exhaling to 2. If you're inhaling to 2, you're exhaling to 4. If you're inhaling to 3, exhale up to 6. So you might not reach 6, which is fine. If you're inhaling to 4, exhaling up to 8. So just keeping that awareness of the breath. And if you lose count, that's fine. Just come back into your next inhale and starting again. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, maybe you're getting up to 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just continuing for a few more rounds. If the mind wanders, come back to the breath, restart the counting. And just staying here for as long as you feel you wish to. Thank you very much for joining me for this first practice. And I will place a couple of extra videos on the end here. You might just pause the video or end the video here. We might continue your practice, otherwise I shall see you next week.